Yeah.
But most people will just rush them. "Oh, why don't you just come in for a consult? I'll show you everything you need to do. I'll show you," but like you just rush through that whole thing and you're not finding the pain. So if you have the pain and you go through it, and at the end of the call, you're like, well, this is what we do. We're 6 to 1 client to coach. Our prices range from $4.99 to $7.99 a month, depending on what package we're going to end up going with. But at the end of the day, I still don't know if you're a good fit, and I really want you to come in to make sure that it's a mutual understanding of what you're getting here.
All right, welcome to Little Jim Big Heart with my interview series. Today, I have a very special guest, guy that I've known for a long, long time through a couple different circles, Tom Leonardis. I've
Yep.
known Tom from the mastermind that I've been a part of for on and off for like 12 years. And Tom is the sales expert in the group. So, my goal today is to help talk about what he's seeing in fitness sales. And he just released a new book and really just talk about what you can do listen as a listener to apply to your business to sell more in fitness to grow your gym. So Tom, thanks for joining me.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm happy to be here. I can't believe you actually know my wife's friend's brother went to roommates with him, which is even more crazy than anything else. I was like, no way.
Yeah, shout out the Rogier family. Tony Rogier is my. So Tom, give the 5 second overview of your background and what got you to the position that you're in today.
So, I mean, I've been doing this 20 years now. My brother-in-law was my driving force for a lot of it. Um, he got me into fitness, and then I thought he knew everything, and then he had a massive heart attack in his sleep
Wow.
at 49. And then I was sitting there at like 17, almost 18 years old, trying to figure out like how do I and why do I feel this way? And then my main mission in life was to never let anybody feel the way I felt when my brother-in-law passed away, because even though he was supposed to be in the best shape of his life, was nowhere near that. So I knew there was an education factor that a lot of people were missing, and I didn't want people to feel like me, which is what my why was that got me into all of this. I started working in New York Sports Club. I lied about my age when I was 17. They didn't even look back then. They didn't care.
Yeah.
They said, "You want to train? Great." And then I ended up getting my master's degree in exercise science with more of a main concentration in biomechanics. All my coursework was biomechanics driven um, at Montclair State, and my professor, Dr. Stephen Lee, was another driving factor. Without him, I probably wouldn't have got my master's or been able to work full time as a personal training manager or fitness manager at a gym in Jersey called Jersey Strong. Well, it was Workout World back then, but now it's not Jersey Strong. Um, and then from there, I've just been in every kind of gym you can possibly think of. I was in box gyms most of my life. Then I got into the boutique world, sports performance stuff, right out of college after Equinox, and then I ended up with Vince, and that's how you ended up meeting me. As I was actually running Vince's gym all through COVID and was doing 30K months in sales during COVID for personal training sales
Yeah.
when we were training outside under a 30 by 30 foot tent in 90-degree heat. So it's been a
Yeah.
wild ride.
Yeah, not the easiest time to take on a gym GM job during the COVID pandemic.
No.
So, um, you became known as like the sales guy. Vince probably has all kinds of names
Yep.
that he calls you, the sales nerd or something like
Yep.
that. But
The sleazy, slimy sales guy you
yeah,
love.
that's what it was. How did
Yeah.
you fall into the sales world? Because it's something that a lot of fitness guys are like allergic to the idea of selling. How did
Yep.
you make that kind of your thing?
I realized at an early age when I started doing the selling, and I was running the gym at 21, 22 years old, but I was still in college. Um, and I learned really quick that I can't help anybody unless they swipe their credit card. But like I always had the kind of gift of gab when I was 10, 11 years old. I would go to the Verizon store with my dad and I'd be selling someone a phone in the store. I would just talk about, hey, you don't want that one, you want this one over here. Like
Yeah.
it just came to me that way. And I knew that no matter what I did, I'm not going to be able to help them unless they can actually get out of their own way. And the number one thing is the investment that gets them in the way. So yeah, their time and their head trash and all that stuff, but realistically, I can get them out of the way with that. But the biggest thing is I need you to take out your credit card and swipe right here because the only way you're going to get help in my expertise is if you pay me for it.
Yeah.
And that's a hard thing because everybody wants to help people and they're like, I want to help people. It's like, yeah, but if they don't do this, nothing's happening.
Yeah, I would say the hardest thing that people deal with, and I think you were probably no exception, and that's why I think it's important to talk about, and I've talked about this on the podcast. Most trainers struggle with this, in my opinion, because deep down they know they would help the person for free. They're
Yep.
in it for the right reasons. They love helping people, and then they struggle with charging a higher ticket, charging what they should charge, because they're like, I don't know, I would do this for free. How do you get people thinking like knowing what to charge and being willing to charge what they should?
When you're younger, that's when you're kind of in your way more than when you're older. But at the same time, if you don't get out of the habit, you're always going to be the one that charges less than everybody else, and you're wondering why your book's not full. So one of the things that I always think of is how much is my time worth not to be around the people that I care about, that I'm going to spend it with somebody else making their life better.
Say
And
that
that's
again.
so basically, I'm always thinking to myself, how much money is my time worth for me to not spend it with the people that I care about so that I can make somebody else's life better?
Yeah, I think that's a really, really good way to look at it. Um, the other thing that I would think about, or you inspired me to it came to mind right then, is how much is my time worth to, how do I say this? How do I overcome this limiting belief that if I don't, I can't do this anymore? Like the truth is, if you don't charge what you're worth, you will not be able to stay in this career. And it's like, that's the conversation I have with people is like,
Yep,
do you love this job? Do you want to do this for 10, 15, 20 years? Then you better figure this out
yep.
because you can't do it charging 20 bucks a session.
That's literally why I wrote the whole book. It's the only book that's the mind of the employee, not the mind of an owner.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing that I have that most people don't is I treat every job I've ever had as like I'm the owner of it.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I redid Vince's whole website. He never asked me to.
Yeah.
I just couldn't take it anymore. I add things to the website he doesn't ask me to, and that's just the mindset of what can I do to make it so that the what I'm doing is worth it. What I'm doing is making something better. And that's just how you have to think in this world. If you don't do that, that's why you always end up trying to find a new job. That's why trainers hop from place to place and then end up working somewhere else. For some reason, real estate. I don't understand why, but everybody goes into real estate, which is not a bad thing, especially if you can get good at it. But if you could sell a house, why couldn't you sell training?
Yeah. It's almost like that selfishly selfless thing.
Yep,
Like, listen, you designed the website not because you just wanted to be helpful, but because you knew it was going to help you in a sense.
exactly.
But you weren't afraid to be selfless with your time, to be selfish. And I think that's an important thing for trainers.
Yep,
Like, you've got to be selfishly selfless
yep,
in that. And I've got other theories about the real estate thing, but all of the theories that I have about it lead down the path of selling fitness is really hard and selling anything else. If you can sell fitness, you can probably sell anything else because people don't want to have to buy personal training. You're
yep,
selling something that sucks. You're selling
yep,
something that people don't want to have to do, that exposes their deepest vulnerabilities, that risks them getting hurt, that hurts their social status because they're usually walking around. There are these high powered CEOs with big buttoned up suits and high powered jobs where people report to them. Now they walk into a gym, they're sweaty, they're gross, they're getting, talked down to by a trainer in some situations. Like it's a position people don't want to have to be in. And if you can get good at it, you can go into any other industry and probably do really, really well. But there's nothing more fulfilling than being in fitness sales. That's my opinion on it.
and that's the thing too is a lot of people don't realize the experience side of what you're doing. And for people to come to you and to have that feeling of being talked down to whatever it is, that's doing the disservice. But at the end of the day, you become the status symbol. Oh, I get to train with Devin. That is the status now. And if you can build your value and your brand and internally with your being an employee of a place like where you're at with your stuff, like that's valuable to say, oh, I work at Gauge Strength or
Yeah.
Engage Personal Training, right? That now becomes the status for not just the member, but also the employee,
Yeah.
right? People would line up to try to get a job with Vince. You know how many people we turned down for Gabriel Fitness? and we just don't let the we finally found one, took forever, but at the end of the day, it's going to come down to making sure that if you don't know the value that you have, you're never going to get a job like working with you.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
And value
So
isn't ego. Value is not ego. A lot of trainers have egos. Your value isn't ego. You could have the biggest ego in the world, but if you're charging as much as you're charging, but you can't sell it either, that's your own problem. Like that's not something that needs to be brought into the actual your gym or anyone else's gym.
yeah. So how do you navigate that? What point are you making there?
It's funny. I actually worked with somebody in the past, and every time he talked, I always felt like he was full of shit. And that's part of it. It's like you have to walk the walk, put the hours in, and before you can actually start talking, right? Just because you're a trainer and you think you're the world's best trainer, if you were the world's best trainer, you'd be making a lot more money
Yeah.
than you are right now. So like you don't need the ego. And a lot of it comes from the way they look because it's all vanity, right? And at the end of the day, when trying to find the right people, I always go back to core values. And if they match my core values and they are able to kind of almost be the extension, the arm of me, that is somebody that I would bring on.
Yeah.
But you can tell real quick when your core values and their ego just don't match. You're like, yeah, no, I'm good.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, listen, there's the idea of like the toxic high performer is worse than a poor performer that's a good core value fit. Like you
Yep.
never want that toxic high performer, which usually means they perform really well, but they're not a core value fit. And
Yep.
that will like implode your whole team and business.
Oh yeah. And that's the thing too is you're one of the best at it. I mean, the way that you have your team and the way that you set things up, I've like the way that you have your point system, like all the things that you do. I remember the backpacks with the badges on them and everything
Yeah.
else. Like you have all different kinds of stuff. And like that is something that's important and it's special. And like that's what these other gym owners need to understand is like there's a lot of other places out there now that are doing better than you, but you're going to bring the people in because of the fact that of XYZ, right? You have to be able to go the extra mile, and you've done that hand like
I
God.
appreciate it.
I know your whole story back to the shoes.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's talk sales.
Yeah.
Um, how does somebody break out? What's the like baseline lesson that you're teaching? All right, gym owner comes to you, or maybe it's a trainer that's in charge of sales. Like, what are the baseline things? These are the foundations of sales for somebody that maybe is struggling.
Be good on the phone. Understand the process, have a process, follow that process, and then don't stray from that process so you can actually see where you made your mistakes.
So, let's talk about what does that mean? Have a process.
So, for example, if I'm going to be doing calls, right? So say we using Go High Level and a text message is where a lead comes in from a meta ad, right? Right, your automation fires off, they respond back. You know you have a finite amount of time to hit them back again. So making sure that you're being on top of it and you're staying focused. Some gym owners don't are solo and they don't have anybody watching it, so you have to set expectations. So whatever the process is that you're going to set, whether it's the time frame in which you are going to respond, it's going to be the text messages that are going to go out, the time you're going to be on the phone, what you're going to ask on the phone, all of that is part of the sales process. It's not just them sitting in front of you at a consult. And a lot of people forget that. They think, oh, the sales process starts at the consult. It's like, no, the sales process starts when that first text message goes off. And you have to win their respect and earn them to come in to be face to face with you.
Yeah.
But and you just build that whole process. A lot of gyms have it. You have your process. Everyone's process is probably similar, where it's a text message, a phone call, or just pure text sometimes too. People don't want to talk on the phone, whatever it might be. And then you get them to come in for a consult or a walkthrough or whatever it is that they want to do.
So process starts the second they opt in and whatever that messaging looks like. What's the conversion series that you're seeing is most effective for gyms right now?
I like asking a question in the initial text that says basically, do you prefer to keep texting or would you rather me give you a call after 3 p.m.? But I say after a certain time when I know that somebody was free. So if the gym owner is free after 4, you say 4. If you're free after 1, say 1. If you have a specific time you want to call, just have that always go off because now you know in your time blocking, you're going to block off from 3 o'clock to 6 o'clock to just do phone calls
So
and
that's
follow.
I'll stop you. That's the first time I've ever heard that method, and I think that is a game changer. because especially like I have the luxury of I have full-time salespeople
Yep.
now, but most trainers they can't have speed to lead because they're coaching, and
Yep.
owners have other meetings and they're coaching and they're doing all these things. So you're seeing that be a really effective message as the first thing that goes out is, hey, it's Devin at Gage Strength Training. Just curious, would you prefer texting or would you want me to call you at 3 p.m. between 3 p.m. and
Well, I
6 p.m. for
usually
your
say
training?
something like, "Hey, it's Leo from Gabriel Fitness. I just wanted to reach out to you because I know you want to learn, get some help with your health and wellness, or you inquired for XYZ, whatever the offer is." I mention what they wanted and what the outcome might be that they want, and I say, "Well, do you prefer to keep texting about this, or would you want me to give you a call after 3 p.m. today?"
Yeah. So, question, what happens if they say just text me the info?
So usually what I'll do is great. So I have some questions to ask you because the info is basically we do small group training and we have 6 to 1 client to coach, but honestly, that's not going to help you right now. What are you looking to accomplish? I don't even know if you're a good fit yet,
Yeah.
right? Short, sweet, make sure it's no more than 200 characters per text. You could send multiple texts too, but don't do more than 200 characters on average. You want to be very precise. So if you're doing a sell by chat style pattern, but that's what I would do.
All right. So, 200 characters or less, text the info. And then what? So, you get somebody on the phone.
Yep. So if I get you on the phone, I'm basically going to ask them some key things. What are you looking to accomplish, right? I usually set the stage first, so I'll be like, "Hey, Jeff, do you have time to chat? Yeah, great." So basically, how this call goes is I'm going to ask you a few questions, take a deeper dive into what you're looking to accomplish, make sure that it's something that we can help with, and if it's a good fit, we'll talk about what the next steps will be, which will be you coming in for a consult. Sound good? Okay, cool. And then what I'll say to them is I'll be like, well, what is the main thing you want to accomplish? What is the one thing that you know you need done with your overall health and wellness that you haven't been able to achieve before? Or I'll ask them, what has to happen in 1 year from today for you to say that whole thing, for you to say that, you know what, I am proud of the progress that I made this year, or
The
whatever that
R
might
the
be.
R factor
The R factor
question, my
question.
favorite. Yeah.
Um, and what they'll usually say is I want to lose weight. And I usually say, well, how much weight? And if it's a male, it's more so I'm gonna go a different route than a female. So I'll start with a male. If the male goes, I want to lose weight. Well, how much weight do you want to lose? 40 pounds. How long do you want to lose that weight? I wanted to lose it for about 3 years. Well, what changed 3 years ago from today? How did you get to the point you're at right now? I had kids, whatever that might be. All right, can I ask you a question? Do you feel like this weight is slowing you down with your kids? And how old are your kids? Oh, they're 3, and yeah, I can't keep up with them, whatever it might be. So let me ask you an honest question. If I'm able to help you be able to chase your kids, not be out of breath, and show them what dad really is like trying to run away from you, would that be something you'd be interested in learning about? And I anchor to the pain. So if you anchor to whatever that might be, his pain is he can't keep up with his kids, right? For a woman, it might be along the lines of that they want to lose 30 pounds, 40 pounds, whatever it is. But whenever they go look in their closet, they try on like 10 different things, but they can never feel comfortable or confident in what they're putting on. So I'll ask them, how long does it usually take you to find something to wear on a date night or anything like that that you know you want to look better and feel better, whatever that might be, build that confidence up. And they'll answer you. But that's how I usually do. I anchor to that pain and then I just build on that.
Yeah. That's great. What do you feel like in that process? Where do you feel like most people make mistakes?
They rush. They try to get off the phone as fast as possible. When in reality, if that person still wants to talk to me, I usually don't go over 7 minutes because I'm reaching that pain.
Yeah.
But most people will just rush them. "Oh, why don't you just come in for a consult? I'll show you everything you need to do." I'll show you, but like you just rush through that whole thing and you're not finding the pain. So if you have the pain and you go through it, and at the end of the call, you're like, well, this is what we do. We're 6 to 1 client to coach. Our prices range from $4.99 to $7.99 a month, depending on what package we're going to end up going with. But at the end of the day, I still don't know if you're a good fit, and I really want you to come in to make sure that it's a mutual understanding of what you're getting here. Does that
Yeah.
sound cool to you? Okay, good. I have this time and this time open. But before you go, I just want to ask you really quick, how excited are you to actually be able to look in your closet in a few months and be able to pick out something and be just as confident, knowing that no matter what you put on, you're going to be that person that everyone's head turns in that room?
Sold. I'm
But
coming in.
but but now they're making the conscious decision to
Right.
come in, right? Like that's got to be what you're trying to get to. You anchor to end the call with the pain, and you still ask a question.
Right.
So now when they're coming in, they're getting excited, like, "Oh, this is cool." And then what you do is you send them a follow-up email. right? That's another mistake that most people make. Oh, look, it followed me now. There's another another mistake that people make is they don't do anything after. They might send an email. It's like, oh yeah, this is the address. This is what you're doing. See you at this time. Don't forget your appointment's at this time, and that's it. My follow-up email is like the directions to the place, where they should park, what to expect, what to wear, and then I also put in the follow-up answers to everything that they asked, right? Or everything that I asked them, I should say. So it has the entire basic summary of the conversation in the actual email. Then a day later, so if they're in a few days, so a day after, whatever it is, they'll get another email and it'll be a testimonial email for somebody with the same goal that they had, but they already reached the path of where they wanted to
Right.
be, right? But they don't do that. And in the text message, it should be a picture of you holding the consultation sheet that says, "Hey, can't wait to see you. I already got your sheet ready for you. Don't forget, 3 p.m."
Yeah.
Right?
So that's a lot of manual stuff. How do you integrate? Is there like an AI integration that you have? How are you automating some of this? And are you still doing the manual photo or have you systemized that somehow?
So you could AI it. Because I can hold a white piece of paper with the consult thing on it and have it just change the name on the bottom, and I could highlight where I want it. It'll always change the name, whatever you want to do with it. That's easy. The thing that I like to do is I like to make it so that the AI handles the follow-up. So it writes the email for you, it writes the text messages for you. But unless you have 10 consults a week, isn't enough to not be able to do
Right.
it manually if you're in this seat and doing it right. But if you did want to automate it, you can have Cowork and Claude do almost all of it. And you could even have it send emails for you and do it all through other things. You can wire Twilio into Claude now and just have it send a text message if you want.
All right. So sales call, you book the follow-up. And so you're still 100% locked in on in-person consults always?
No, not if you're in a pre-sale, but I mean, I just like them. It's
Yeah.
just what I like. Could I do it on the phone? You could absolutely close it on the phone. You could even drive it to do the qualifying call, get them excited, and then say, "Listen, got a bonus for you. You could either do it in person, but I know you're busy because you got your two kids. You want to just hop on Zoom tomorrow? I will hammer it out there." You could do that too,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. We've done, at Gage for years, we did the in-person consult and at scale, like we're like, you know what, let's just bring them into an intro session. We kind of have an eval like built into our intro session, but that requires our sales calls to be so much more like, I mean, our typical sales kind of, appointment setting call when we set that assessment is between like 15 to 22 minutes. So we're doing a full discovery. We're doing like price qualification. We're basically closing them for, they call it the Netflix close these days. That's what everyone calls it.
Yep.
Um, but I still think if you have the capacity to do it, the in-person consult is elite. I think you're going to close the highest ticket in an in-person consult.
What are you guys closing at for the phone ones?
In terms of converting on the phone,
They're basically swiping their card on the phone and they're coming in for a trial and then it just rolls into a membership?
yes. Yeah, that's
What?
the Netflix style.
Yep.
Honestly, it depends on what offer we're running. A lot of times we'll run free offers and we will just book a intro session. Um, the other half of the time we'll do the Netflix style close. Um, I would say it's all the way through. It's about a 75% like on the phone. Get them on the phone, we close. If they come in, they're converting on the back end. So we're pretty solid at 75% across the board.
Yep.
Honestly, our biggest thing is getting people on the phone in the first place.
Yeah, and that's going to be set the expectation. That's what I would tell the team is just the expectation side of it. As long as you're setting it for them, kind of making it sound human, and then setting the expectation if they don't answer the phone, sending another text message that says, "Just want to let you know, I'm also going to call you at 7 p.m. tonight and 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. Which just let me know which one works better for you." And just making sure you call them, and then they don't answer again. Send another text message to them,
Yeah.
right? Just keep doing that, but set the expectations, and that's how I usually get people on the phone.
So let's say you get, what does your lead follow-up cycle look like? So a lead comes in on Monday. What's the like, in the perfect world, what's the call cadence? What's the follow-up cadence look like?
So every week you drop about 25% of actually making contact. So your first week you have a really high rate of actually getting them to respond. By the second week, you're already down to 75%. By the third week, you might as well just shoot yourself in the foot because you're never going to get them to answer.
Right.
But I usually do text. I do a email, phone, text as soon as the opt-in comes in, and then you're going to get basically um, you're going to get the my kids are screaming outside. Can you hear it or no?
No.
Okay, good. So basically, that's all I hear. Um, Basically, what you're going to do is you're going to have the next day text and email and another call, and then I try to call every day the first 7 days. I'm not the type of person that double calls people, but I will call them twice in one day.
Yeah.
The double call, I know that it's on as a on the Apple phone just makes it as D&D all the time. Mine's on it too all the time. So the double call just gets it to ring twice, but it's showing twice. I like to send a text message like, "Hey, I know you're probably busy right now because you're on D&D." So I'll call them out on it so it sounds human. Right? Even if
I
it's an
like that.
automation, I'll still send it as a human. It's like it sounds human.
Yeah.
Um, Rather than me just dial twice kind of things.
Yeah. We
Um,
stopped double dialing because
yeah.
we're doing so many calls right now. My reps are doing a lot of calls. Double dialing just spam filters us so much more.
Oh yeah, the spam is ridiculous with it. So that's why I don't really like to do it. I mean, sending the text message after
Yeah.
always crushes better anyway. Especially if there's a question with an expectation that you're setting in it. So, but yeah, so the first week is constant calling twice a day, text message, emails, all going out kind of a thing. The second week, I like to be more so of a like, did we miss you? Did you find another trainer in town? I really care about the result you're looking for, but you're not answering the phone and
Yeah.
start calling them out on things. Then I'll go every other week, every other day after that. And then by the fourth week, it's more so dropping them
Right.
into my newsletter flow or
The
whatever else I
drip
want.
series. I
Yeah.
want to touch on one thing you said, and I think this is really important. You're pushing them to know.
Oh
That's
yeah.
like in our language, we call it like pushing to know, where you're like challenging them, like, hey, I've called you 5 times. I have to assume that maybe you're no longer interested. Can you just tell me so that I can stop calling you? Like
Yep.
you're calling them out for being a
100%.
ghost. I'll tell you one thing that we just started doing that's gotten a good response. I had ChatGPT make a little image of a ghost with our like logo on the front, and it's like, "Did you ghost us?" And we started sending that image, and we started getting like a lot more replies on like day. We're actually using this more for trials that were set at the gym that never responded or never showed,
Yeah.
and we're getting a lot of responses with that. So memes, videos, photos, those tend to do pretty well.
Those will do well. Are you sending it through GHL?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, those work really well. I love that. That's actually awesome. I'm gonna actually gonna do that for the consulting side too. I'm just gonna start people that don't answer me, I'm just gonna start sending them stuff.
Yeah, just be fun. Be somebody fun. Another one that we
Yep.
did was I had for some reason I had a skeleton, like a full life-size skeleton, and I put a Gage shirt on it, and I took a photo of the skeleton at the gym with the shirt, and the meme was just like me waiting for you to reply since you reached out to the gym, and I sent it like a week after they
That's
opted
awesome.
into the gym. If they never ghosted us, like we died waiting for them to answer. But again, just like I think keep it human. Like don't be a robot. I know that's one of your things is like don't be a robot. Be superhuman.
Yep. And that's the hardest part for a lot of these trainers is that they just try to do the minimum, and the minimum is never gonna let you win.
Yeah.
Like that's like it's like going to a bar and then trying to pick somebody up at a bar and you don't even buy them a drink or ask their name. The
Yeah.
chance of you doing that is zero.
Right.
Right? Unless you're
Yes.
LeBron James, probably, but if you really wanted to, that's the only way.
Yeah, and
Unless you're 3 Mile famous.
especially like there's so much competition these days. There's online coaches, there's free training on YouTube. Like you have to stand out.
Yep,
People are bombarded in their text messages. They get hit all day every day. Their emails are totally flooded. You have to stand out.
100%. Yeah, and I mean that's the other thing too is if you're not trying to go out into the community, they're not asking you to say, "Hey, can I go do an event? Can I go do this?" Or, "Hey, there's an event coming up. Can I go to that with so and so?" Like that's what has to happen if you work for anybody, right? Even in your own gyms, your staff should say to you, "Hey, I saw that you're going to do the 5K this other. Can I come with you? I want to see how you do this marketing stuff." Like if they're not doing that, that you're not getting better. I would do everything.
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah,
care
and
what it
again,
was.
you mentioned it like an employee thinking like an owner. I think that's
Yep.
one of the best qualities you can have. It's obviously I'm biased because I'm an owner and I love when people do that. But the truth is, the people that have succeeded the most and have grown the fastest and done the best are the ones that don't have a transactional mindset. I think Vince calls them paycheck people.
Yep.
They don't think like paycheck people, like they look at their job description and they're like, well, this doesn't fit on this line item. So why would I do that?
Yep.
And they don't like, that's just not going to get anybody anywhere in any career.
Nope.
So you wrote a book, Leo. You just
Yes, I did.
released a
Yep.
book, How to Sell Fitness Without Selling Your Soul.
Yep.
What's the key premise of the book?
I understanding your why, helping others build theirs, and then understanding that this is the number one way you're going to help the most people. That is why and how I wrote the book. And I go back to when I was a trainer, I was helping when I did one-on-ones. I was able to help one person an hour. Then I ended up going working in a small group. I became a manager and I could sell people. Right now I'm helping 10 trainers. I'm helping 10 people per hour doing one-on-ones. Right. Then when I went to Equinox, I had 45 trainers underneath me. So I was helping 45 people an hour. Then I realized that small group was a thing. So then I ended up selling that. And now I have 6 people an hour, 8 hours a day, helping more and more people. And then the main premise about the book was is how can I broadcast this more, right? Because I work in the consulting side with Vince, right? So how can I get in front of more? So now we have a ton of gym owners trickling down in that. And then the book was the final thing where I can be like, all right, these are people I don't know.
Right.
And that's kind of where my premise came from is basically I just wanted to help more people. I wanted to help people get out of their own way, whether you're a fitness professional or just a regular person. You just needed to figure out, all right, how can I move the needle in my own business in the fitness world? That's why I did that. Mainly for people that want to either become an owner, are an owner, or a trainer. So it doesn't matter who you are, it's just geared to help everybody.
What are the pillars inside the book that somebody, if they read the book, they're going to walk away from with learning?
So I guess the biggest takeaway from the book is going to be there's a really good book by a guy named what's his name? It's over there. What the hell's his name? Eat What You Kill is the name of the book, right? And one of the pillars was is that you don't wait around, right? You go out and you make the job, right? You go out and get the clients. You go out and you do the thing. And the main pillar that I wanted to go around was is know your why, know who you're trying to target, make sure that you're taking care of yourself while you're doing this, because buying back your time is also part of this. A big, I like Dan Martell, but a lot of this in this book is like trainers don't have time. I mean, you know how many times you take a protein shake and that's your meal for the day?
Right.
Um, Understanding how to sell without dealing with the objections. That was another huge pillar within my book. And then understanding, I really, it's the 5 key ones that I always go back to. And then understanding that your job isn't done after they buy. And that's like the 5 key things that I like to go after with no matter what I do. And that's why the book is so cool because it's not an owner writing it and it's not somebody that hasn't gone through all kinds of shit in this industry. I mean, hell, I almost quit fitness and went to work at it's not is it Cisco, the toilet paper and paper towel company,
Yeah.
just so
Cintas.
that Cintas, that's it. I,
Yeah.
I literally was this close before Vince hired me going to work at Cintas during COVID
Yeah.
because I just didn't I was spit up, I was spit out. I was like, you know what? I'm done with this stuff. And at the end of the day, this is an unforgiving world, and you have to have thick skin. You have to know that you're gonna get shit no matter what you do. And this book is kind of the story of that
Yeah.
whole thing.
And on the like eating shit side of it, uh, expect it. I would say like expect turbulence,
Oh
especially
yeah.
in fitness sales. Like we deal with this is kind of relevant. We had like a crazy lady on the phone the other day. Like she just was such an asshole. Every question my rep asked her, she was like super mean. She was really rude. It just was such a like an asshole. There's no other way to put it. And he was like, man, he was pissed. And I was like, honestly, she was that way because she is fucking terrified.
Yep.
And that is exactly who needs the most help. The people that are so scared, she's got such a defense mechanism up. Like, that's what you should expect in this job is like walk through shit because you know deep down she needs it more than anybody else. She needs it more than the guy that can walk into any gym and like get a workout in. She is such an asshole because she is so scared to face her fear and vulnerability.
Yep.
And you should expect that and welcome that shit and be like, that is a signal that like this is a person that I can help.
Yep. And that's the first. But when someone does that to me, I kind of humble them because I always kill with kindness. So one of the one things I do is I usually say, "Can I ask you an honest question? It doesn't really sound like you want to talk to me right now, but realistically, I think you really probably need my help. So let's be real right now. Why did you even want to have me? Why'd you opt in? Why'd you want to have me call you?
Yeah.
Like I'm fine asking that. A lot of no one, a lot of people are afraid to ask that, but I'm gonna be honest with you. Whether she hangs up or not, who cares? But if it gets her out of her own way, you finally did the one job you were supposed to do, which is help people.
Yeah. That's great. I love that response. There's a few other I've learned, I'm blanking on some of them now, but diffusing like the narcissist or
Mhm.
diffusing like the super asshole comment people, there's a few lines that you can really turn things around on people that are always good little tactics and skills to learn. But if somebody was listening to this and you wanted them to walk away with one message about selling better in fitness, what is like the one thing that you would want them to walk away with?
Know their own why. Know why they're calling these people. Know why they are getting dealing with all the headaches. Know what, understand what the why is. My why right now is my why in the beginning was my brother-in-law passing away. I still hold on to that. I have multiple whys. My other why is my mom. My mom can't stand up, walk around the house, and pick up my kids at the same time. She just cannot do it. She just can't move. My other why is my family, right? I want to be able to take my kids to Disney World every year for my daughter's birthday. That's my why. I want to do that no matter what. I want them to see dad work. The reason I wrote this book, and the first chapter in the book is about what made me come to terms with the fact that I forgot my why. Right? I thought my why was working hard for them, but the reality was I'm supposed to have them see me as somebody that works hard but still be there for them. And that's very drastically different. And that's what the book kind of brings out in everything. It's like just because you're working hard doesn't mean you're doing the job. And I think that goes a long way for a lot of trainers because just because they think they're working hard or they deserve XYZ or they do this, that's not really the job, right? Either internally, you could be in the wrong spot, or it could be externally for the employer also knowing like, hey, I'm missing the boat on this guy. This guy's doing a really good job. Like there's
See,
a lot of ways to think about it.
that's such a great point because I think a lot of people like get off on this like struggle porn and it's
Mhm.
like I'm grinding, I'm working all these hours and it's like that's not the job of the owner. The owner is to do I've had this conversation with some of my staff like they're like I'm working really hard but like but you're not because you coaching is easy. You coaching a lot is fucking easy.
Yep.
You the hard work is facing your fears and like doing the work that you're resisting.
Mhm.
That is the hard work. And the reason you're grinding, you're coaching so much is because you're doing everything you can to avoid the real hard work, which is the work that's actually going to help you grow. It's actually safe and easy for you to grind.
Yes. I agree 100%. Grinding is the number one fake work task that most people actually do to think that they're doing more than they should be doing.
Yeah, that's great, man. Well, listen, you work for a mastermind that I've been a part of for 12 years. Let's give Vince Gabriele a shout out.
Yeah, so Vince, our group is, I would say, one of the best out there, not because of anything other than the fact that we all have kids. We're all family driven. I would say almost 40% of our mastermind is a husband and wife combo duo, right? It's more of a family than it is just a group to be part of. And Vince built something that I think it's going to be very hard to replicate. I know a lot of people are trying to replicate what he's built. And at the end of the day, the success that some of these people are having within this group, you are a massive success within the group and also everything that you've done. And I mean, you'll be speaking at the Mastermind event in July,
Yep.
which is awesome. That's July 17th and 18th in New Jersey. It's actually inside Vince's gym. Charlie Weingroff was speaking. I'm speaking on AI at the event as well. Joe is going to speak to a lot of really good people, but what Vince has built is unmatched, and it's really great that I get a chance to be part of it.
Yeah, and you've been a huge part of that success. I mean, I know I've had my employees work with you. I know a lot of people work with you to accelerate. You run the New Client Academy, I think. You still do that?
I've actually passed that off
Got
to
it.
Carl. I sell the New Client Academy,
Yeah,
and I coach one session a month now within there
cool.
on sales. But Carly runs it now.
Yeah. So listen, anybody listening, the mastermind July 17th and 18th in New Jersey. So
Yep.
it's open to the public. You don't have to be a part of the mastermind group to join. Obviously, they'll probably want you to join the mastermind group if you go. But
Yes.
I'll be speaking. I mean, you're talking about AI, which is perfect because what I'm talking about is when AI takes over so much of the busy work of the job, when it delegates all the admin and the tedious and monotonous stuff, what I'm talking about is what is left over is leadership and
Yep.
how you have to show up as a leader when all that bullshit busy work is done and how to show up as a great leader. So I'm excited to speak. Preparing now. I'm excited to hear you speak. And Leo, this is awesome. Thanks for coming on.
No problem. Thanks so much. Thanks for having me.